Welcome back to another episode of hashtag CB99 Talks. I'm Combo Breaker 99, and I'm back with another episode here with some women's MMA for y'all. Man, we had another good weekend, fights, boxing, mixed martial arts. So it's going down this whole weekend. So, I was checking everything out though, man. I had the laptop going, the TV going, the phone going. It was like a menage, yo. I had it all going, man, because, it was everything I was trying to catch up on. But some fights I had to go back and look at again because, some just took my whole focus away. And this first topic I want to talk about, man, this was a shocking fight in women's MMA that, had a lot of people like, wow. It was like, wow. That fight I'm talking about is Maria Agapova versus Shannon Dobson. I want to talk about this. I did a post fight on this, but there was just some other stuff that I wanted to go in on as far as, what both of these fighters were bringing to the table. And one of the things I was just talking about, man, in my post fight, as far as like disrespect, I just felt like there was a level of disrespect in this fight. So I want to talk about that. Also, to come in, Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia flyweight fight. I want to go in on that November 21st. Just a few things I want to discuss as far as like looking in like Jennifer Maia's perspective, it just as far as like, how the whole situation is going to play out for her and her taking advantage of an opportunity like this. And of course, December 12th, UFC 256, we got Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson, so that's a fight I know, I don't know, like, there's hardcore fans want to see it, but, there's a lot of people that don't want to see it. So it's kind of like a mixed fight here, man. But style matchup wise, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. So we'll talk about that, man. But going back up, Friday, we had Julia Budd versus Jessie Melee. Julia Budd made her way back into the game, with a decision win over Jessie Melee. Will that lead to a title shot eventually? I don't know. And if it does, so be it. Like I said, I know that Chris Cyborg is like this. She's just a different animal, but you can't never just turn somebody away if they continue to put in the hard work like Julia Budd's doing. She put in the hard work to a certain level and she continues to beat everybody else, then she can get back in there. That's on her, however it works, and the matchmakers and how they see her moving up the rankings. But we also had Amanda Lemos against what's her name, Mizuki Inoue. Yeah, we had that fight, and that was a good one. I predicted Mizuki had enough skill to pull this one out, but and Amanda Lemos, she had them hands in that fight, man. She surprised me on some things she did in there, and I thought that was impressive. As far as the women's fights in UFC go, I was 0-2, man. I was 0-2 on this one, man, because I knew that the Lemos Mizuki fight was close. I knew that one could have went either way, but man, this Maria Agapova versus Shannon Dobson, I did not see that coming. First off, if you haven't seen the fight, go watch it. But, I'm going to drop the spoilers here, of course. Maria Agapova, she was upset by Shannon Dobson via second round stoppage. It was like a second round ground and pound stoppage win for Shannon Dobson. And like I said, going into this fight, if you listen to my breakdown and my prediction, there was a lot of strengths that Shannon Dobson had. There's a lot of strengths that Maria Agapova had. And, like I said, when I look at these fighters, I'm not just going in there picking a favorite saying, okay, this person looks stronger, that person's going to win, or, oh, this person has bigger arms, they're going to win. I don't do that crap. I'm actually watching these fighters fight. I'm watching all their fights. Like, I usually go back and watch a good majority of their fights. And then after that, I kind of look at what they do right and what they do wrong and how it's going to play out when they match up. So when I looked at this fight here, I was like, okay, Shannon Dobson, she has to do such and such. She has enough skill to do these things to beat Maria Agapova. But Maria Agapova, she has to do these certain skills to beat Shannon Dobson, And I picked Maria Agapova to win this fight, not just off of those strengths and, off of her skills, but I picked going by her momentum as well. When you factor in that momentum, plus what she can do in the octagon against another fighter who was 3-4 that was bested by better opponents at times, then I was like, okay, that's Maria Agapova all the way. But then there was that one variable that I didn't, predict, and that was Maria Agapova just coming in there with this Street Fighters mentality. She just came in there with this mentality like, I can just fight Shannon Dobson any type of way I want. I can just do whatever I want, and she'll fall down and she'll lay down, And that's why I said when this fight was over, I was not shocked that Shannon Dobson won. Because like I said, Shannon Dobson had the ability to win this fight. I was shocked at Maria Agapova's approach to this fight. That's the shocking part. That was the shocking part about this, because she just came in there, guns a-blazing, disrespecting anything Shannon Dobson had as far as skill, and thought she could just make Shannon Dobson lay down. But Shannon Dobson, shout out to Shannon, man. She really came in there, heated, not heated like pissed off or anything, but just heated as far as, she was fueled up. She was hot, ready to go, because she knew a lot of people were counting her out. She knew she was a big underdog going into this fight. She knew that everybody was betting against her. And also she knew this was a do or die situation. She's 3-4. If she lost this fight, she would have been 3-5, and she possibly could have been cut. So all of that was in her mindset. That's what I'm saying. Like, for somebody like Maria Agapova, you just can't go in there and say, okay, this person's 3-4. I just fought 2 months ago. I'm going to take another quick fight. And you think it's going to be easy. No, it don't work that way. And her being this young, I know it's still something that she's getting adjusted to. But when you get into that fight game, everybody you fight, you have to sit down and you have to actually take the time to do your homework and figure out what this opponent is, what kind of a monster they are, what kind of animal they can be in there, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses. You got to look at all of that. You got to build your weaknesses up as well. So I feel like Maria Agapova just going in there and just saying, okay, I'm going to start swinging wild. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to do that. And then, you blew that whole, you blew your load in the first round. Then you didn't have anything for the second, so that right there just showed that she still got a lot of learning to do. She has a lot of growing up to do in the octagon, and you got to do it ASAP, especially when y'all want to go, all these young fighters, y'all want to go to the UFC at 21 and 18, 19, y'all going to be in there with some experienced people. Y'all going to be in there with the valedictorians and the scholars, y'all trying to go in there now. So you got to be on that level, and I think that a lot of people just say, okay, I got a UFC contract. I'm the baddest person out here, man or woman. There's a lot of fighters that are like that, but as soon as they go in there with an opponent that's like 9-8, or somebody that's like 30-15, they see that record and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give them their 15th, 16th loss. They wind up getting their ass whooped because they don't understand the levels, and that's kind of where Maria Agapova was. She was like, I see 3-4, watch me whoop this girl, and that leads me to my next thing, disrespect. I thought it was just disrespect on a different level. I said this in my post-fight, disrespect, it can be many of things in the combat sports world, but like Maria Agapova, her level of disrespect was just saying, okay, I can do anything I want in this fight. You totally disrespected Shannon Dobson's, her skill in the game. You didn't go in there and take any type of approach to figure her out. I mean, sometimes you can go in there and try to check the chin early, set something up or set up a counter. You can go in there and rush in and swing to land something. But like the whole time, she was just like throwing like some amateur stuff. She was just throwing amateur stuff at Shannon Dobson. So Shannon Dobson just kept her cool, stayed in that pocket, took her to the ground, and, let her wear herself out, So Maria Agapova just taking that type of approach, it was really disrespectful. That's why I say, like, that's not like a knock to her saying she was being this, villain or anything like that. But that's just like corner talk. I don't know who in her corner told her to just go out there and do that, but, and just say Shannon Dobson's nothing. No, Shannon Dobson's not nothing, man. Because like all of those factors I named for Shannon Dobson, her being 3-4, her being the underdog, that's going to make her fight even harder. That's going to make her even fight even harder to stay in the UFC. So yeah, it's just disrespectful just going in there and doing that. I mean, she fought a better fight against the mismatch between her and Hannah Cyphers. You know what I mean? She fought better in that fight. She's fought better in her past few Invicta fights. But this approach, it was just like, whoa. It was just like, whoa. It was just like all the way out of the way. It was just like out of the way disrespect from me, you know? But let me know what y'all think in the comment section, her taking that approach. I mean, of course, I know y'all's thoughts because, y'all saw the outcome. But Shannon Dobson, being the underdog too, man, like I said, sometimes that's the if you don't know how to use that, it can work against you. But she definitely knew how to use the underdog. Some people, when they already know that a lot of people are riding against them and they're denying them, it can help them work even harder. It helps them say, okay, I know nobody's riding for me except for me. Deep down, I know that I can be better than this. So that's all I need. And you're just like, okay, you come one with yourself. You look at your reflection and you say, hey, it's just me and you, and it still feels good. You'd be like, it's just me and you. Nobody else is wanting to be around us. Nobody else is, rooting us on. I've been there before, with certain things in life where it's just like, okay, nobody else is helping me. But when I know that I still feel good that I have me to do whatever it is in life that I need to accomplish, I'm good. I'm good. And I think that's how Shannon Dobson approached. Shannon Dobson was like, yo, nobody else looking out for me. I'm going to go in here with my team. We're going to train. I'm going to push myself to this level. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I think that Maria Agapova, her approach was different. Hers was just totally different. But also, Shannon Dobson, her winning, like I said, I had to give her respect. And in no way, like, I was totally counting her out. I was not counting her out like everybody else. I said that she would get cut though if she lost, which is true. But yeah, like, I didn't count her out though. That's why it's like I said, I wasn't shocked that she won. And her winning, her putting everything together and her keeping her composure and be able to, do what she did. She caused one of the biggest upsets in UFC history, which is crazy. I didn't know that she was that big an underdog. I think the last biggest upset in UFC history that was holding that record was what I say, Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. Yeah, it was that fight. But now it's Agapova versus Dobson, which is crazy, man. But yeah, like I said, that works in a lot of people's favors, and hopefully that win will help Shannon Dobson, work even harder and always keep that mentality. Like, everybody is trying to, see her out of there. I think it'll help her. I think that type of mentality helps her. But for Maria Agapova, as a young fighter, like I said, she learned a hard lesson. Don't like it. One of the things I always say now is don't necessarily take an L as a loss. Replace that with a lesson. Replace that OSS with the ESSON. That loss, that L can be seen as a lesson. Because for her, it was a hard lesson because, like I said, she just came in there kind of hyped up, gassed up, from a lot of fans and a lot of people, bigging her up, so it kind of took her to that level where I got to show out. I can show out, and Shannon Dobson's going to like it. She's going to take it. She's just going to lay down and take this ass whoop any way it comes. But no, your approach to the fight got to be the same way you approached your last fight. It's got to be educated. It's got to be using the feints. It's got to be knowing your range, all of that. But her going in there like this, it was just really, you could see it was social media influence. I'm not gonna lie. If you go back and look at a lot of Maria Agapova's posts, and I'm just being real, you can look at it for yourself. I'm just saying, like, you're not seeing the same level of hard work already that she was showing before. It's mostly a lot of fun stuff. It's a lot of recreation. It's a lot of this, and, non-combat sports related. So, of course, she probably was training and working. I know that a lot of people are doing that. They don't post everything, but I would like to see the opposite. I would like to see all of that hard work, all that sparring and strength training and conditioning and drills versus, you having fun. And that goes for everybody. I think that a lot of fighters, that's what we want to see on your Instagrams. I don't care who it is. If it is Curtis Blades or Derek Lewis or Israel Adesanya to Frankie Edgar to Paige, I don't care, Or let's even talk about the women. Like even with the women, like like I said, the Paige Van Zants, or from them to Tatiana Suarez. Like I want to see the same type of stuff from these type of fighters, but I want to see the work. I want to see what type of work they put in, because that lets us know that they are competing on that level. Because you're a fighter, so your Instagram should kind of be fight related. You can disagree or agree, but I mean, you can post a little bit of personal stuff here and there, but that's what we want to see, because that's why people follow you, because you're a fighter, So I think, like I said, it was just a big lesson for Agapova, because I think a lot of her build up to her fight was overly saturated with social media. She just needed to find that balance, and I feel like the dedication to the fight game should always outweigh the social media part, or you just have to find your certain times to really click your mind into the Instagram for like a day or two, but then come back to the gym, going back to the mat or the ring. But yeah, overall, I'm not going to count Maria Agapova out. I am a growing fan of her, even before this fight. I just feel like I said, this is corner talk. This ain't tear you down. It's just calling it like I'm sitting in the corner. It's just an observation. So I just feel like that's stuff she needs to hear, to just keep your mind in the game, even at this young age. You can have fun, but you got to stay on it, so that's how I feel. But yeah, again, respect to Shannon Dobson for putting in that work. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what y'all think Shannon Dobson is going to do from here. Who do you want to see her fight next? And what do you want to see Maria Agapova do from here? Who do you want to see her fight next? But yeah, moving on, man. November 21st, got Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. This was, like I said, November 21st. Oh, dang, yeah. Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia. So that's going to be another crazy fight weekend for me. I think I'm off that weekend too. So yeah, it's going down. This one here, man, I just want to talk about this fight because, there was so much build up, or I'd say backstory to this as far as Jennifer Maia getting the fight. Jennifer Maia, she caused the upset against my girl JoJo Calderwood. She got the win, as JoJo wanted to take a stay active fight, which I was in support of, but she took the wrong approach to it, man, and got submitted in the first round. Jennifer Maia put that armbar on her, and yeah, that's how it worked out. Jennifer Maia got the win, and after that win, Valentina tweeted that I'll see you next, and Jennifer Maia said that she would take the fight. So my thoughts on Shevchenko versus Maia is, first off, I have to say that I have to give a lot of respect to Jennifer Maia for just straight up accepting this title shot, because, there's a lot of, I won't say a lot, there's a select few of the contenders in the flyweight rankings that don't seem like they really want a title shot yet, or, they just seems like some of them are kind of, they just kind of passe when it comes to it. They don't really want it. Like, for example, Roxanne Modafferi, I think she was one of the fighters that kind of blew that opportunity after getting some very, very solid storybook wins to make her put her opportunity with Valentina very, very enticing. I think that Roxanne beating Antonina Shevchenko, the sister of the champion, then beating the undefeated hyped flyweight and Macy Barber, really could have gave her a title shot. She really could have just said, yo, Dana, give me this title shot. I just whooped Valentina's sister's ass. You know what I mean? She could have put it that way and said, okay, I just whooped your hype train's ass. Let me get this title shot. But instead, she chooses to fight Lauren Murphy, and all of that gets derailed when Lauren Murphy dominates. And then JoJo Calderwood, like, she kind of did the same thing to the same effect. But, I'm in support of JoJo because she had a better argument. Yeah, I'm taking up for JoJo again. But, yeah, I think JoJo had a better argument because JoJo hadn't fought since September of last year, so she was going on like a year off of inactivity. So she wanted another fight plus some money, which now that I kind of look at it more so and I look at the timeline, I think that she should have just went on and waited for Valentina if the fight was coming up in another 2 months or 3 months, because the turnaround time would have made the Valentina fight further down the line. Because say Valentina had to pull out of the fight for surgery in June, right then JoJo should have called for a fight in June or July, but she didn't get a fight till August. She fights in August, and depending on how bad the fight would have been, let's say if she did win in August, she'd have to recover and then get ready for another training camp in another 2.5 months, and then fight Valentina in November. So in a way, I could kind of say, well, you might as well just train your ass off now and not blow that big bag. I kind of see that now, especially looking at the timeline. But at the time, whenever she just went on sign on, I was like, okay, do what you got to do. But that's the thing. If she was going to do what she got to do and take the fight, she had to make the statement and just, take Jennifer Maia out, which she didn't do. Like, in her mind state, like I said, it was a similar to Roxanne, but different. She blew an opportunity by not coming to perform like this was a title shot, So now it's all on Jennifer. It's all on Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia's got the title shot now. And like I said, she wants it. She's taking it, because Jennifer Maia could have just said, okay, I beat JoJo, but I still want to fight Vivian Araujo next. She could have did something like that, but no, she didn't. She said, I'm going to turn this thing into a title eliminator. And that's what she did. That was her plan. I knew that had to be her plan, because Jennifer Maia is going to want this. She's been an Invicta champion before. She's fought some experienced fighters. So, and she also knows time is ticking. So she wants that bag. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that somebody like that is finally going to just take that opportunity, even on this level. I know ladies like Caitlin Kagan, they were number one. They fought her. Jessica I, number one, they fought her. But like I said, there's been some select fighters that just didn't take advantage of the opportunity to get that belt, And I mean, who knows, man? You could. There's always a chance, which brings me to Jennifer Maia's chances. Now I know style wise, man, like styles can make fights, but I know going into this one, she's just another animal. It's almost like Cyborg in the featherweight division. Valentina Shevchenko, her skill set is always above everyone else's, whatever division it's going to be in. It's like when Floyd Mayweather was in the welterweight division. You had a lot of good guys, a lot of top guys that could hold their own against each other. But when it came to Floyd was just like a master. He was just here. He was always up here. I think Valentina's kind of that same way in this flyweight division. So looking at Jennifer Maia's chances, I'm going to say her chances are slim, because, I think that all around Valentina just has too many tools for her. But, that's not really what it's all about at this point, because a lot of these ladies that go in there against Valentina, they can at least get that opportunity. They can at least get that opportunity to get that bag and say they fought their way to the top to get that title opportunity, And Jennifer Maia, her chances are better than Roxanne's or JoJo's now, because she's gotten closer to it by getting her, getting into the octagon. That your chances get bigger whenever you get an opportunity to actually get in there. Whenever it stops turning into a what if. Because, with JoJo, Roxanne, we always say, Roxanne, okay, she has this experience. What if she did fight Valentina? But we'll never know now because she lost that opportunity. But at least Jennifer Maia, she has that chance. She has that chance. And another question for y'all is, do you think this is good timing for Jennifer Maia to fight Valentina? She's coming off of surgery. Who knows? Like, this could just be something that could play in her favor. You've seen it in the past, some fighters who might have a bum leg or damaged hand or whatever, it could kind of make them a little bit more vulnerable. I mean, I know it's kind of I know it's kind of, nobody wants to think that way, but you got to think that way because that's a part of the game. I mean, people are thinking that right now with Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. They're thinking that Danny's chances are based off of how healed up is Errol Spence. How durable is he now? That's what people are basing their chances off of now. They think Danny can beat him now because he's been in a car accident. So you gotta look at Jennifer Maia. Is she taking this fight at a good time with her coming off of surgery? You never know. This could be in her benefit. So it was good that she did just go ahead and take this fight. And another question for y'all is, but first I will say that is it good timing? Yes, it is good timing for her to take the fight because you never know. Also, you never know when this opportunity could come again, right? Because after she fought Vivian Araujo. Let's say if she beat Vivian Araujo, that necessarily wouldn't have put her in like a title eliminator, and definitely wouldn't have put her in a title opportunity. So this is good timing for her. This is good timing, man. So after beating JoJo, this definitely is like, okay, this is a good time for her, to fight Valentina Shevchenko, because you might never ever get that chance again. But last question too, ask the rest of y'all out there, is, will Valentina show rust in this fight? I think Valentina might show a little bit of rust. I think Valentina Shevchenko could show some rust in the octagon, but I think it might just be trying to get back into the mix, maybe like the first couple of rounds. I think that it'll just kind of be a thing where she just needs to kind of say, okay, I need to kind of wake up, dealing with, the pressure of being a title fight. That's all. But I don't think she'll be too rusty, like as far as like physically. I think she's a very, she's a very, very athletic person. She's always moving and dancing and competing at something. She's always traveling and moving. So she's a very physical and mobile person. So I don't think she'll be really rusty in the sense like trying to get the legs back into circulation as far as in the fighting. But I think that she will might just need to kind of wake up to like say, okay, I'm back in the title fight after a couple rounds. So and even if she was rusty, I think she has enough to fall back on to pull off a win. Even if she just has to use her wits. I think that Valentina is that type of fighter. But yeah, I think Jennifer Maia, she's gonna try to make this fight interesting. I'm just happy for her that she was able to get the title shot and well, first off, she pulled the upset, and then, she used that upset to get a title shot. So that was a smart move on her part. But, also, I might talk about this too. I do feel like, yeah, Valentina, she is definitely the best fighter, but I feel like eventually, and this is my opinion, that there will be a fighter that has a style that'll give her trouble. Will they beat her? No. I mean, some people disagree with me on that, but I'm just being honest. Like, not every fighter is invincible, and people need to stop thinking like Valentina is invincible. She does have 2 losses. I mean, they're very competitive, controversial losses to Nunes, but they still stand as losses where they show weakness. So I'm just saying, like, eventually somebody is going to crack that code. It's happened before. It's happened many a time in the game. I mean, only one you can say it didn't happen to Floyd Mayweather as recently, but I think that somebody is going to be able to give her a tough fight. It all just comes down to somebody having your number. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this fight, Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. As we get closer, I will do a technical breakdown of it and give you my prediction on it. All right, so last topic, yeah. Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson, December 12th for UFC 256. Just an early look at this fight, man, what it could look like. That's what I want to talk about. But honestly, man, we all knew this fight was coming. We knew this fight was coming because I remember when they did the, what was it, double header with Felicia Spencer. Who did Felicia Spencer fight? Did she fight Zara Farron on one card, and then Megan Anderson had fought somebody on that card. I can't remember, but it's just blank. My mind's just going blank on that right now. But they fought a doubleheader on the same card, and then it was going to come down to Amanda Nunes picking who she wanted to fight, which she picked Felicia Spencer. But I knew that Megan Anderson was going to be the next opponent. One of them was going to be the next opponent, even if they haven't even fought anybody or if they lost after that, because there's nobody else in the featherweight division right now. There's nobody else in the featherweight division. So we knew Nunes-Anderson was going to happen at some point. There's nobody else in the division. So eventually Nunes is going to have to fight Megan, right? So, just like an early look at what this fight could look like. I see, like I said, I really don't feel like Megan's done enough to really prove that she's ready for this title. But I really see some sparks in this fight. I see some explosion. I see some explosiveness in this fight going down, man. I don't see this fight going 5 rounds, honestly. I see some hard, heavy concussive hands on both sides being landed. If Amanda tries to keep this standing against Megan Anderson, I think that there's going to be some blood in this fight, and there's going to be some hard punches landed in this one, man. Because I think that, Megan Anderson finally getting that title shot opportunity, she's going to really try to come and bring it against Nunes. And if Nunes gets caught sleeping, she will get put to sleep. But as far as Nunes, her approach to this fight, I've been putting this on my page, Instagram, and leaving it on comments or other people's streams. But I feel like Amanda Nunes, her approach to this fight with Megan Anderson, it basically has to be Germaine Duraname 2 or 3. Yeah, because I think that fighting, for Amanda Nunes, she has decent stand-up. She has some decent striking. The one thing that really makes her stand up so intimidating and forceful is her power. She's got that power in that right hand, but she just throws that straight or a lobbing right hand. There's going to be a time somebody's going to be able to time that or nullify it. Those are the keys that to her striking to make it really, really intimidating. But I feel like GDR and Megan Anderson, their main bread and butter is striking. Their IQ and their science behind how they strike is a little bit more advanced than Amanda Nunes, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like Amanda Nunes is a better, well-rounded fighter, but Megan Anderson, her thing is striking. Her setting up her jab and setting up her right hand and knowing her range is her thing, because she's such a tall, long, powerful fighter. If you go back and look at her fights in Invicta, because like I said, that's where I first seen her, and watched all of her fights in Invicta, I was like, this girl can strike. This girl has power. She knows how to use her reach, and she knows how to put every bit of power into that right hand. When she lets her hands go, she's letting them go. And that's why I say, like, Amanda Nunes will want to take this to the ground. She don't want to make this fight a 50-50 fight or a 60-40 fight, 60 being Megan Anderson in the stand-up. Because Megan Anderson got hands. Like, I'm telling y'all need to go back and look at some of her Invicta fights. I know y'all seen her losses here and in the UFC, but y'all need to go back and look at these Invicta fights on what made her the Invicta champion and such a powerful force at a time. I think that the striking is going to favor Megan Anderson more, because, again, the way she sets up her punches, Nunes is really going to be taking a chance on putting her chin out there. She can't just go in there swinging or looking for the counter like Chris Cyborg did, because Chris Cyborg really came in there I'd say she came in there in an emotional state. She didn't really come in there with a technical approach when she fought Amanda Nunes. But Megan Anderson, I think when she goes in there, she swings and she catches Nunes with one of those shots, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be a different story because she puts everything into them long shots. So Nunes is going to want to take this fight to the ground. She's going to want to take this fight to the ground and really smother the long, tall fighter and use her grappling and wrestling the same way she did GDR. And I think it'll be a little bit easier because I feel like Megan Anderson still has a lot of groundwork to perfect, and she really needs to craft that. Will it be as bad as the way Holly Holm dominated her on the ground a couple years ago? It's hard to say, especially when you're really dealing with a world-class grappler like Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holm. Even now, Megan Anderson did improve on some things. I think that Nunes would still be able to nullify her on the ground and outstrength her, and maybe even submit Megan Anderson, or even like flatten her out the ground and pound her to make her tap out. I think that Nunes has that ability to do that. So ground is all I have to say for Nunes in this fight. You don't want to stand with Megan Anderson because you don't want to give her that chance to land one of them bombs. And she will land them bombs. Holly Holm, she caught a few shots from Holly Holm caught a few shots from Megan. That's why she took the fight to the ground after that first round. Like, Holly, of course, is a world-class boxer. She's a world champion boxer and a decent striker. But I think boxing or MMA, hands down, Megan Anderson got more power than Holly Holm, and she's a better, I think she's more of a methodical puncher, a better puncher than Holly Holm overall, so you can agree with me or disagree with me on that, but I think that Megan Anderson definitely packs more of a punch than Holly. But next question for y'all is, real quick. Nunes has to take this fight to the ground. That's her approach to this. Nunes has to take this fight to the ground. Do not keep this standing with Megan Anderson, or it could be lights out on either side, but you're giving Megan Anderson that chance to knock your lights out. But next question. Where will Megan be leading up to this fight mentally? That's something interesting I was thinking about. Will Megan be in the right mind state to take this fight? Because I remember a while back, whenever she won that Invicta title, my mindset was, okay, Megan Anderson's going to stay in Invicta for a little while and defend this title, make a statement, kick a few asses, and then start slowly calling out Chris Cyborg. But when she won that title, she called Cyborg out right away. She left Invicta and vacated that title and was already signed to the UFC. And Cyborg called her out. And when Cyborg called her out, Megan was not ready for it. Megan was almost gone for like a year out of the game, which kind of bummed me out because I was like, dang, Megan had this potential to gradually come over to the UFC and then be this force that's prepared for Chris Cyborg. But when she called her out so early, it was like threw her out of the mind. It threw her mind out of the loop. And then she was out. She was out of the game for a while. She was inactive. So now that she is in for a title shot against the greatest women's fighter in MMA today, now that she has that title shot, what type of mind state do you think she'll be in? Well, hopefully, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Megan is really taking this thing seriously. I hope that everything else is being put to the side right now, and that she's really, going in, building the mental up right now, before fight camp start. I hope she's just getting into that mind frame to say, this is it. This is the GOAT I'm fighting. This will lead to bigger things. Besides what's happening now, I got to put everything else on hold. I got to put the YouTube channel on hold for a little bit. I got to put the commentating on hold for a little bit. I got to put all these other appearances on hold for a little bit and focus on this Nunes fight. Of course, don't overtrain, but just get into that mind frame where that this is that opportunity that I've always been talking about. I wanted. I said I wanted Megan. I wanted the Nunes fight. I want the Nunes fight. I want the Nunes fight. Well, now you got the Nunes fight. So you got to prepare for that fight like you really, really did want it. So she has to be in that mind. She has to be in that type of mind state right now. She has to be in that mind state that nothing else matters. All this other side stuff don't matter. The road to Nunes is all I'm looking at. So hopefully she's in that mind frame. But, there's always the possibility of like anxiety where she could get a little too anxious and somebody, unfortunately might pull out of the fight. She might pull out of the fight, but hopefully that don't happen. Hopefully she just stays on it and says she's not thinking of the negative parts. Like, okay, what if I win the championship? What happens from here? People are going to be looking at me, judging me, what I did right, what I did wrong. They're all going to be looking at me now. Like, because I think to a certain level, she deals with a lot of pressure, some negative comments here and there. And believe me, man, when she wins that title, it's going to put her in a different world. It's going to put her in a different world where everybody's always watching you, whether it's good or bad, so she's got to be prepared to be in that mind frame to talk to people about being a champion, going in there to fight for the world title. So she's got to deal with all that type of pressure, just the buildup, going into UFC embedded, putting up these vlogs every day. Whenever they're talking about it, they're going to want to see how she's doing. So that's new type of pressure, So hopefully mentally, man, I hope that she's in that right mind state, because I want to see a good fight. I like Megan Anderson. I was a bigger fan of her on her come up to Invicta when she became the champion. But like I said, whenever the path kind of derailed, it kind of had me in question about some things. But yeah, man, I still ride with her because, like I said, she puts on a good fight. Maybe like watching her build up to this fight and see what she does as far as training will put me back into that Invicta Megan again, man. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think, man. Do y'all think she's gonna be ready for this fight mentally? But last question on this segment, man. Will Amanda Nunes? Okay, how do I phrase this? Let's see. Who should win this fight in your opinion? Like, if Nunes was to win, would it be better for the featherweight division? Or if Megan Anderson was to win, would it be better for the featherweight division? That's my question, like, to myself and to y'all again. Like, if Nunes was to win, will we see anything become of the featherweight division? Like, would we really see anything like come to light as far as building up some competition for it? Honestly, man, like, if Nunes did win, it would probably just be another title defense for her, where she would defend this title, then go back down to bantamweight, defend that title, or maybe win this fight, defend the title, and then retire. If she did win, it probably wouldn't really lead to anything like, to any type of like buildup of like an actual featherweight division, in my opinion, because like it's more so like just giving it's more so just giving Amanda Nunes names at this point. You know what I mean? Like, okay, she fought Felicia Spencer, she fought Chris Cyborg, now she fought Megan Anderson. Who else could she fight? Well, that's it. She can retire because there's nobody else in the featherweight division. You know what I mean? So it'd be like just giving her who else is out there, letting her clean out the 5-6 people they have, and then that's it for it. Then she rides off in the sunset. So then they would kind of just leave it at that. Dana would probably just leave the featherweight division at that. But if Megan Anderson was to win, I think it would put the whole featherweight division in a new light, because, featherweight is the only weight for Megan Anderson. Let's be real. She can't make bantamweight, so Nunes, who's the champ, she can kind of alternate, which when she comes back, it's just kind of like, okay, I'll fight whoever the big name at featherweight is, and then, go back down to bantamweight. But like for Megan, it's going to constantly always be featherweight for her, which could be a good thing if she won. Because if she did win this title, then Dana would be forced to have to bring in new fighters. He'd be forced to have to bring in new competition to build a 145-pound division, because there would be nobody else for Megan Anderson to fight. You know, she already fought Zara Farron. She already fought Felicia Spencer for now, which might lead to a rematch if she won. She would already have fought Nunes by then, of course, because she won the belt. So they would really have to bring in new fighters for her to fight. You know, they would really have to go back and say, hey, remember those featherweights we may move down to bantamweight in the Tough House? Bring them on back up to featherweight. That's what they would have to do, which I would like. They would have to bring Macy Chase on up there. And I already said it before my Instagram. I'd like to see Megan Anderson and Macy Chase on fight eventually, because, you know, Macy needs to be a featherweight, in my opinion, not a bantamweight. You know, they have to bring Leah Letson up. What's her name? Bea Malecki up to 145. Bring in some new people like Pam Bam Sorensen. Hey, bring over Caitlin Young. You know, bring over Caitlin Young to the featherweight division. So they would have to bring in a lot of people from Invicta and maybe even steal some Bellator featherweights. You know what I mean? So I think that with Megan Anderson winning the title, it would be a little bit more interesting, because it would shake up the whole game. You know, it would shake up the whole division. That belt would be in a real true featherweight's hands. And then Megan would have that ability to say, yo, Dana, what are we going to do? Who am I going to defend my title against? Don't be bringing up no blown up bantamweights and no blown up flyweights. You know, I can't work with that. You know, don't bring up no big mismatch for me. Somebody I'm fighting like 5'3" and weighing 145 pounds. You know, don't do that. You know, we can't do that. We got to actually bring in people. So hopefully it would, if Megan did win, it would bring Dana into making another Tough House, like for a featherweight division, you know, or he would do a contender series, bringing in some contenders, you know, some featherweight contenders to fight. You know, that's probably what it would do. Like if Megan won, then he would probably have a contender series where they'd have more women featherweight fighters. And I think that would be a good thing. So yeah, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments section about that. Like, that was just something I thought of a little bit deeper, man, because it was just like, so if Nunes wins, will there be a featherweight division? Like, will that just be it? Like, after she beats her, will it just be out of business? You know, they just throw this sign up and say she cleaned it out. There's no more, you know, or they just have little side fights here and there, something like every now and then, a catchweight fight. Or if Megan Anderson wins, like I said, it could really build up a division, man. Like, Megan could really say, hey, we need more women over here. And maybe, like I said, Dana, he'll say, damn, I need to make a division, man, because I got a potential star. So yeah, I think that's just an interesting fact for you. I think that's just an interesting way to look at the future of the featherweight division, you know, because they really need one. They really do need one right now. And I've already talked about in my past few videos, but let me know what y'all think in the comments section about those questions I was just kind of going over about this topic. Because like I said, I'm a Nunes fan. You know, I like Nunes okay, but I think that, you know, with Megan Anderson winning, it would be a bigger shakeup, and it might bring in something that the featherweight division needs. But I don't know if she'll be able to pull it off, because Nunes is just too well-rounded of a fighter. But yeah, man, that's really all I got on this one, guys. I know it's another fight weekend coming up here. Real quick, let me just go down the list of fights we got coming up as far as the women's MMA goes. I know it's another UFC fight night here. Let me see what we got, y'all. It's not July, it's August 252. I know November 28th, we got Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis. Let me know who y'all think is going to win that fight. I think that's going to be a good one. Oh, yeah, we got that Anthony Smith and Alexander Rakic card. And on that card, we got Jin Yoon Kim versus Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso making her debut at flyweight, so that's going to be interesting. Got another add to the flyweight division. Got Mallory Martin versus Hannah Cyphers. Damn, Hannah Cyphers be getting them checks, boy. She be getting them fights. So we got her coming back. Mallory Martin, she's coming back. I think her last fight out was against Verna Genderoba. It was a loss to Verna Genderoba. That's going to be an interesting fight. And we got Paulina Viviana versus Emily Whitmire, strawweight fight. Last time out, I know Emily couldn't make weight, but the fight's back on. I'm a fan of Emily, too. You know, I'm kind of going for Emily in that fight. So shout out to Emily Whitmire. Glad she was able to make weight this time and, you know, get back into the mix. Yeah, I'm rooting for her in that one. But yeah, got 3 fights on this card coming up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What about the next card here? Let's see. September. I think we got another September card. But yeah, that's what's going down this weekend, though, as far as fights. So let me know who y'all think is going to win those fights in the comments section. Mallory Martin versus, who did I say? I just lost it. Hannah Cyphers and Emily Whitmire versus Paulina Viviana, and Jin Yoon Kim versus Alexa Grasso. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this episode. You know, talking women's MMA with y'all. Let me know in the comment section, you know, just your thoughts on some of these topics I spoke on. Going to be doing some more breakdown and prediction videos on some upcoming women's MMA fights for y'all. But yeah, like always, just follow the information that you see up here. Combo Breaker 99 on Instagram, All Boxing Everything on Instagram, and subscribe to this YouTube channel and help me grow, y'all. Thanks for the new subscribers as well, though. You know, I appreciate that. You know, I sometimes I'm surprised people even want to hear me talk about some of this stuff, man. But thanks for the new listeners, y'all. But yeah, I'm out, y'all. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.